Welcome to the Podcalv. We were the other day super excited about how it's like to be a nomad traveler and what are those things that we should have in mind and so on. Then, out of curiosity, many of you have asked me what are actually the nomad businesses or the nomad talents that people are needing around the world, right? But also, what are all these things to keep in mind as a nomad? What is that community or ecosystem that you should look at, or the things that you should learn from? So let's start dividing this episode in two parts. The first part, to continue the conversation that we were having last time, is that part regarding the ecosystem. And is that, again, we go to the topic of people thinking that you need a lot of money in order to travel, in order to develop, in order to do things. And that's a myth. You don't need a lot of money, or sometimes you don't actually need money. So the first thing that you are going to do after this episode is that you are going to look for three things. There is one community that is called Couchsurfing. That community actually saved me. I stayed in more than 35 countries in apartments or places via Couchsurfing. Couchsurfing is basically a community of people who will have the interest of get to know cultures, of getting to know people from all the parts of the world, and who are willing to offer you to stay for free in their places. Those people are going to offer you a house, offer you a room, offer you the sofa. That's why it's called Couchsurfing. And in exchange, what you are going to do is basically share your culture, share your vibe, connect, talk, interact. Sometimes there are people who are very busy and who will only offer the room with the idea of you out of hospitality. I found a lot of that, as I told you, in Sudan before. I found a lot of that in New Orleans, in the US. I found a lot of that in Spain. And as I told you, in 35 countries, I stayed in Couchsurfing places. And one of the beautiful things about using that platform is that you can actually just interact with people and discover new things and have nice conversations. But then there are other tools that are not so known for having these nice interactions and nice conversations, but are also good. So you've probably heard about Bumble. And I know the whole thing and the whole reputation of the social media where you get to know people and so on. And many people, they think that Bumble is only to find a hookup, or to find a partner, or to find a couple. But Bumble also has a function that is called BFF. That Bumble function that is for BFF is to allow you, or to help you to find people who want just to hang out and just to have a nice time, to show you the city, to connect you with people. There are many environments in which they will offer you, for example, to go to an event or go to a networking thing. I remember how using Bumble in Paris and using Bumble in Dubai, I've always met people who will be in the entrepreneurship world, work in the blockchain space or in the NFT space, in things that matter and that are interesting to me and that can be cool and that I want to interact with. And those people will take me to places. And I think that the third space that I would recommend you definitely to find people and so on is in the space of LinkedIn. And it's impressive and it's amazing how, for example, LinkedIn has now grown to position as the social media for people who are actually looking for jobs, or who are actually offering jobs. I think that in order to promote or to position your image as a professional, or as somebody, for example, who travels as an authority in the digital world or in the world of nomad travelers, it's important to use LinkedIn. And it's because LinkedIn is this universe where you will find the nomad type of professionals, but you will not find many nomad travelers or nomad companies or nomad businesses. So there's a huge opportunity or a huge window to actually operate ourselves from there. And this is when we go to the part of what is or what are the businesses or the segments of industry where you should invest or interact, or where the talents of a nomad traveler or a nomad business can be most of use. Of course, the traditional ones, for example, design. The design, specifically graphic design or architectural design or industrial design, have something very cool, and is that by essence, this is something that you learn by taking things from every culture in the world. So the more you travel and the more you interact and the more you know, the more you are attractive for people to get to know you and to get to know your talent. So I think that this is my number one, that you should if you are a designer, if you are a graphic designer, if you are an industrial designer, if you are an architect, if you are a fashion designer, you can travel the world and you can do magic. You can travel the world and you can create your content. You can travel the world and you can appreciate the buildings, and like you can sell, for example, projects online for people who are in another country and not even have to go to that country, or maybe visit a country surprisingly because you are like talking about architecture, talking about how that architectural movement influenced and blah blah blah, and then somebody say, hey, would you like to be my architect, and you just travel the world. The second segment that I think that is important is of course marketing. That is something that many people need, but not only traditional marketing. We are talking about transmedia, right? We are talking about the segment of marketing in which you will combine the creation of strategies for the digital world with the execution of strategies in the physical world. To have a deep knowledge in how people now are consuming, to have a deep knowledge in how people are buying, what are things that you should keep in mind, the last mile technique, for example, the traveling trends that are happening in the world, the occupation trends, the type of people who are traveling. Like, to do that and to know that requires for you to be a well-traveled person. And again, the more you travel, the more people will be willing to hire you because you know about the world more than other people who are doing like a specific type of marketing or marketing in only one place. The third type of industry that I think that definitely works a lot for a nomad traveler or a nomad company is the content creation business. And the reason why I believe that is because, again, in a world where now what matters is what you see, and what matters is how you sell things online and how you combine that online things with the things that you see physically, it's very important to have content creators around you. People who travel like that, actually people, even me now, I'm starting to travel in like with my team, and like with people who can actually record the experience with a good quality, or who can actually like create something nice. And not even that, if you are a content creator and you don't want to travel, or you think that you will not find clients, or you don't want to travel with your camera, you can actually just create some random content every time you travel. For example, do photography or do things, or if you are not traveling with your camera, you just create a tutorial of how to do this, of how to do that, and people are going to buy that content. People are going to be able to do that. And this is when we go to the next industry, that is the industry of education. Online education is now a thing. Now with the time, like more and more people stop believing in the traditional education, like by universities and so on. Now people are more and more believing in the master classes, in the digital space in which you are going to have like somebody who is experienced, who have lived that, telling you how to do the things, instead of like somebody who've learned from the books or from learning a business school how to do business. You want to hear from the entrepreneur, from the people who are traveling. So imagine if you offer, for example, courses with examples about how to take pictures, how to do videos, how to do things. People are going to hire you, of course, and people are going to take you to places. And I think that my next two businesses are, first, of course, technology. There's still a big space in the digital world for technology, especially the developers who now know how to develop blockchain technology, or know how to manage communities, for example, in Solana, or like in another networks that support, like for example, the Ethereum network, or the Discord network. And if you know how to actually move in the ecosystem of blockchain technology, if you know how, for example, develop or invest or trade in currencies that are not traditional and that are based in crypto or blockchain technology, you will definitely be able to travel, and you will definitely be able to trade. Just keep in mind that there are some places that have different legislations and different things like for each of the types of things that you do, but definitely something good. And my last one, but not the less, I think is the, of course, NFT world. And we've seen like how many people now are creating NFTs and tokens and so on, again, like based in blockchain technology. The whole beautiful thing about it is that, and the reason why it's so valuable is because an NFT is a non-fungible token, meaning that it's something that can't be copied because it has a unique code. Many people think that NFTs are only bought in the digital world for the avatars that, by the way, are now creating something that we call the metaverse, right? Like we are going to talk in another time about what the metaverse is, and how, for example, you can find a job in the metaverse. Just heads up, for example, for the architects, you can be an architect for the metaverse, and you can create like in the way how you were creating, many of us, we play The Sims, right? So in the same way how we play The Sims, you can actually create metaverses and designs for people or for companies who are actually looking for that type of vibe, for creating like avatars and spaces in the digital world to sell to people who are interested to invest there. But now going back to the NFTs are not only digital, are not only the art that you buy and that you keep in the digital world. That art can be also printed. That art can be also like spreading different things. You can buy non-fungible tokens not only in art but also, for example, in musical pieces. You can find also art in the shape of sculptures or augmented reality tags that you can put in your home. Imagine arriving to your home and you find a sculpture that is an augmented reality tag, and you just scan the thing and that sculpture comes and it's a 5-meter thing or a 3-meter thing. And lastly, of course, in avatars that you use for fashion. Those avatars again are not only for the digital world, but now many companies, more and more companies. The other time I was reading this news about like how some luxury brands are investing in the NFT world and how creating avatars that now can be both in the digital world but also in the physical world. And that's unlimited possibilities. Why is unlimited possibilities? When you buy something in the digital world, basically something that is based in NFT, in blockchain technology, and that is financed via cryptos, what you do is you have something that today, for example, is worth $200, but in the case of Ethereum, that is one of the coins that I like to invest the most, is growing. Tomorrow is going to probably be worth $600, right? So now you have a piece of art or a dress or shoes or something that is growing its value constantly every day. So it's not only a shop or it's not only a product that you bought, but it's an asset. It's an actual active in your company or in your life. If you do NFTs, it's exactly the same. What people are investing in you that today was 0.2 Ethers. That was probably less 6 months ago. Now it could be much more, and it can actually like help you and allow you to travel, because with the pass of the days there are more and more places that accept exchanges and so on. I think that in general, if you want to be a nomad traveler, the only thing that you need to keep in mind is to make sure that your talent is something that you use and that the possibilities are unlimited. That there is no right or wrong. There is just a way, and it's testing or trying how you are going to find what actually suits you and what actually can develop you. As long as you have the motivation and the reasons for traveling, just do it and just try it. The word is there and life has